So we are live. Welcome to Master Within. Let us check. Let's people add up. We're going to start our show once the people start adding up. In case people are adding up, so we are waiting for more people to add up. Welcome to Master Within. We are coming live after many days. If I'm audible, please let me know in the comment section. Let me know that I am audible enough, and let me know in the comment section, please, and share this video. We're starting our show in, yes, someone is saying we're audible. Thank you. And we are starting our show in 3, 2, and 1. Enjoy.
This is Master Within, and you're watching the Master Within live show. Please wait while we begin the session in a few.
Welcome back to Master Within. This is Shovik Ghosh speaking live. We are coming live in this way after a long time, almost 1.5 years. And today we also have an important guest. We'll introduce him later. But before that, let us say that we have been doing a lot of things this past year, because we had to make sure we not only talk the talk, but we also walk the walk. We cannot just think, we cannot just say, but we have to do. We had to practice. We have to make sure that we are worthy of speaking that we do. For that reason, we had to do a lot of research. We had to get down into the ground, into the field, to do certain activities and check out the practicality and the pragmatism of the ideal that we follow. Sister Thakur used to say, do, be, and have. When we say behavior, it actually means to be and have, to become in a certain way, so that we become, and through becoming, we have certain qualities. And this kind of becoming is obtained through doing. And this doing is nothing but action. So today we have an interesting topic. Last year, we have discussed many things, many important things, and those things are still available live. Those live sessions are available in our YouTube channel, our Facebook page. So before that, I would like to ask you to share this before we get into our core discussion. And finally, we returned live, and we also do certain other kind of videos throughout the year. Hope you're enjoying that as well. Before getting into our core subject, I would like to introduce, we have a very important guest today, who is also a very important part of our Master Within team. He is Reverend Vivaswan Chakraborty. From the professional standpoint, he is a user experience developer, a designer, and he's also a travel vlogger. You can check out the videos in the internet. He's a great man and a great friend and a great big brother to us. And on a personal level, he's a great grandson of the great master himself. So from that level as well, we have a great connection, both inside and out. So before we enter into the core topics for discussion, I would like to add him up. And please enjoy the show and share it to other people as much as you can. And also, we very much entertain the kind of question that you asked us throughout the comment section. Feel free to ask us anything regarding the topic. I thank you, and here we go. Welcome, Devaswan Chakraborty.
Thank you, Shovik. First of all, Pranam Jai Guru and salutation to the Supreme Beloved, my master. And it's great to be here after a long time. Thank you so much for the very nice and kind information about the show and, of course, my introduction. I hope you're doing good. How have you been, brother? It's been so long here in life.
Yes, I have been doing good as well by the grace of my master, and I hope you are doing as well.
Of course, doing great. So, very excited to be back on Master Within online show, which used to be our very go-to thing last year. So, to the audience, first of all, please accept everyone my Jai Guru, my greetings from Team Master Within. So, as Ravik mentioned about me, let's not waste more time about explaining more about me and get straight to what I have been doing since last year and what we are going to discuss today. So, I'm very excited to be here once again and to let you all know that Master Within, the Team Master Within is once again starting the live show and the online discussions. So last year, as Savik mentioned, we have been discussing very interesting topics, starting from hygiene, from coronavirus, what to do, the measures to take, that we learn on personal level, that we experience, sharing that to you. That's all we do, right, from the light of an idea. We also discussed about many critical and interesting topics like depression, second thought, and many more. So all these discussions that we did last year are nothing but what we learned from our ideal and how to implement those in our life. That is the most important thing. So before we begin with the topic, I just want to share a few experiences that I had last year. So after Master Within took a break, it was very important for us to do some research and development before we actually go ahead and start, giving videos, podcasts, and articles. So on a personal level, we thought that let's do some research and development and let's do some test studies so that we can also try to implement the principles and teachings of our great master in our lives. And how can we actually go into the ground level and solve some problems in the society and many people that are facing the problems in their daily lives and much more that they're having. How to actually, let's go inside that and see the people. So that's what our master has done, right from the day he came on planet Earth. That was his core agenda of his whole life, to serve the people, to do for the people. So just to experience a glimpse of that, took a break and we tried to do some research and development and test studies. I did travel a lot last year. We met, Savik and I met one of our very important members, Orko Prabha Chatterjee, who will join in the later on sessions in the later weeks. We all three met, we discussed what we need to do. And we decided and we realized that it's very important that we do some research and development on ground level. And meeting with a lot of people, traveling alone throughout many important parts and versatile of a versatile Arya Bharat, I realized that there are a lot of important things that we need to discuss before we actually go into very critical topics. So some basic things are very important to discuss, and that among those many basic topics is one that we are going to discuss today, which is belief versus action. When we say this, when I was traveling, I saw many kind of people all around our nation. That's why it's called Incredible India. So many type of people who are very successful in their life, people who try to be successful, but they are not able to follow certain direction in life. Many people who have so many problems in their life, so many people with so many thoughts, beliefs. That's the thing that we all come across. And I used to talk to Sovik on a regular basis and understand that, hey, this is what I have, been seeing, that people are saying, hey, this is what many people are complaining, that they're having these problems in their lives. And we are discussing many important topics, but why not let's do the root cause analysis and find out what is the main thing that actually matters. And then we thought of let's do from everything from scratch. And when I was going through all our Guru Bhais, all our respected and beloved Guru Bhais and our Guru Mas, we all have come across the book the pursuit of truth, which in Hindi we call the Satyanusaran and in Bengali also Satyanusaran. So when we open the book, there's some very important, the whole book is, something, it's next level thing that we all must read. That is why it is called the pursuit of truth. And when we see the main thing that is written, the starting thing is written that the degeneration of humanity began at the very moment when the unseen God was made infinite. So this part is really important. So our topic of discussion revolves around this stanza today that we want to discuss. And when we say belief versus action, what we want to discuss is what to believe in and how to convert that into action, or how important is belief or how important is action, right? That is something that we need to discuss, and that is something that matters a lot. When we say the word belief, we believe things. We have thought processes in our mind. We have preconceived notions in our head. Great. But what about action? How are these two connected? Right? If I say that I believe that I can crack this examination, yes, I believe that. Now, why do I believe that any person, if I'm a person who is very good at studies, who has got very good skills of solving examination papers, why do I believe that I can do that? Or is believing sufficient? Is that enough? When I was traveling, I saw hardworking people on ground level. They don't have many complexities in their brain. They just know that they need to do. That's it. But somewhere in the subconscious mind, they do have the belief also. But if we take examples of great personalities around the globe, we see that definitely they believed, but they didn't only believe, they did some action also. So to understand this thought that we need to believe something and we need to convert that belief into action, we need an ideal in life. If I say that I believe I can walk alone in the dark, I don't need anyone. I need thermal goggles at least to see where the heat is. We used to play games in our childhood that, that had thermal goggles that we saw, heat map and all. So similar thing, if we want to develop in our brain, we need an ideal and those principles of that ideal to incorporate in the mind so that we are able to see things clearly. So we definitely need the light, and we definitely need to believe in that principles and convert those beliefs into actions. So that was enough of thing that I just went ahead with. I'm very excited to see what we discussed today, and I would like Shobhik to add up some more things.
It's a quite interesting things that you said. They are highly, highly applicable things. And by saying this, that we need action to materialize belief, I would like to quote from our master's saying from Message Volume 3. He says, mere planning brain is farthest from materialization. When a brain merely just plans things, a mere planning brain is farthest from materialization. Whatever we see a materialized form of something. I remember one day a person asked Sri Thakur, our master, he asked that, Thakur, is your life more important or your messages are more important? He said, my life is my materialized maxim. What an important thing to say. He said, I have not said anything that I did not do. I have not said anything that I did not do. So whatever Master spoke of is nothing but the fruits of his own actions. He is an experiencer, a person who is experienced in certain tasks. It is said, through experiment, we gather experience, and that experience is knowledge. So for the experiment to happen, we have to do certain things. And when we talk about belief, if we look into this word belief or believe, it's actually believe. To live by being. We have to live by being. And this being happens by doing. Like I am, I be. For that, I had to breathe. For that, I had to digest. So I have to do certain actions that makes this being possible. For this, Master says, do, be, and have. If we don't do, then we cannot be. And there is an interesting quote from Bhagavad Gita. And this is where things get interesting. Lord Krishna says, there is not a single moment that we are not doing anything. We always do something. We always do something. Apuni Shobhav, Kormo Apuni Korai. Our instinct, our characteristics make us do certain things. If we are not conscious of what we are doing, then anyway we are doing something. All the time, like we are procrastinating. This procrastination is an action. And that is a negative action. So if we don't do anything, it doesn't mean that nothing is happening. If we don't do anything, if we don't perform a good action, that means we are some way promoting the negative action. There is no middle way here. Either we are with the good or we are with the evil. Lord Jesus said, he who is not with me is against me. He is speaking in the form of providence. It is the same with the nature. If you are not giving good to the society, if you are not acting out on your beliefs, if you are not acting out on the maxims of your culture, you are actually working against the culture. Because since you are not doing something, since we are not doing something, time necessarily doesn't stop. Time is ticking away. My life is ticking away. And for that reason, we are actually wasting this asset. Food that we eat is actually produced by hard working of some peasants. The electricity that we use have been given by some hard working people, and we are wasting that, and that is a bad thing. So it is not that we are not doing something, we are actually misdoing something. So we can believe anything we want, but we have to do certain things. Now a good point, that what is this belief? Belief or faith, what is this? We see many a people, many a motivational speaker, they said that we don't believe in faith. We want action, we want this and that. But as a listener, when I'm listening to that motivational speaker, I'm actually believing that speaker. There is no case of actually not believing someone and do certain things. Like when I am doing a work, I'm taking a food, I'm actually believing that there is no poison in that food, isn't it?
Of course.
So, just as Dada said, faith and action go side by side. So Master said there is nothing called blind faith. Anyway, we are trusting something. I'm trusting subconsciously and wearing this shirt because I know there is no acid in this shirt. Somewhere. We know the history of America. Americans gave their shirts using some viruses in that shirt, and many nomads were killed just because they believed in the Europeans. When Europeans came into the American continent to wipe out all the tribal people, what they did, they infected a port with a virus and served them throughout. And all those tribal people wore those coats, and that destroyed their generation.
Definitely.
So here we can see, yes, here we can see belief without knowledge, belief without experience is a very dangerous thing. It is not. Yes. So that's why we need someone who is an experienced person, who knows the core principles, whom we can test out and figure out whether he is good or bad. And then once we trust him, once we accept him through the experiment, we have to follow him strictly. We have to make him the ideal of our life. And this is why what I find the connection, the good, and such a beautiful connection between belief and action. I would like pass this to Daba. What do you think about that?
I think it's very correctly said, Souvik. Whatever you have discussed is nothing but how we learn from our ideal, right? And exactly that way we will have to implement those principles in life. So let's make this discussion interactive. I would like people watching this live show comment and add their thoughts as well, so that we can take this up while we are towards the end of the session and discuss those. So it's an urge to everyone. We have come alive after a long. We have a lot in the store for all of you, every one of you. And all these that we have experienced and researched and developed in time has been possible for your love and support that we got constantly during our early live sessions. Before this today's live session, Chavik has also created, and he has been continuously creating a lot of shorts and videos in our Bengali channel as well, which is Master in Bengali. But anyway, the content matters, and we are going to add up more contents in the English channel, in this channel as well. So in order to make the discussion more interesting, let us, Chavik, quote some examples that we see in our day-to-day lives of anything, and how we can actually look on those and try to connect today's topic that, yeah, belief is action. You know what happened once? So I was just sitting one day and I just seeing motorcycles going on. Okay. And this is the story of December last year when I was in the Thar Desert, Jaisalmer, Rajasthan. Okay. And they were going towards the desert. So there were bikers coming around from Ladakh. So they were creating kind of, they were traveling all over India. So they from Ladakh, they went somewhere else, and they said that we are now going to visit Rajasthan, from the mountains to the sands. So they said that they're riding those motorcycles and they're going to live in the tents. So I asked them, so hey, so you guys are traveling so much. Can you describe how your journey is being? And how do you think that you're going to be fine till you reach your next destination? Okay, so you have traveled on the mountains with your motorcycles, and right now you are going towards the desert. And now you said that you will be going towards the south of India to visit the temples, all in the two-wheel motorcycle. So how do you feel, and how confident are you that you are able to make that? Because you never know what's going to happen next. You have no idea whether you're able to find. How confident are you, and how, even if you are confident, how is it that possible that you are so confident that you will be safe and about your journey? He was a very experienced person, and he told me that, have you seen this bike? So have you seen the wheel of the bike? If you look at the spokes that my wheel has got, they are working together, okay, to support the wheel. And all those spokes, if you look, they are going towards the center. All those spokes, they're going toward the center, and the center is so strong that the center of the wheel is actually responsible for balancing the whole wheel. And that wheel is responsible for a smooth journey. And that journey on the motorcycle of the person is responsible to make his journey of life very interesting and experiencing and positive. So I asked him, so why did you give me that example? What are you trying to convey actually from the spokes and all? He said that I believe that I can go, and I am just not stopping believing that I can. I am taking the measures. I am taking the actions. He told me about his lifestyle, and it was really interesting. He is a very fit person. He has an ideal in life he follows. He said that even while riding motorcycles on the higher altitudes, and he took time daily to do all the prayers of his ideal, and to follow each and everything, follow the diet properly, to follow hygiene, each and everything. And he said that when I am doing all these actions positively on repeated basis, I know that a chain of actions are being created, and strong chains definitely are a good support system to anything. So I'm very confident that I can go and I can make it to whole of India by this road biking, because I know that I am doing those things repeatedly. So that's when I understood, man, this was so good. This was so nicely explained, and that was a live example. He not only believes that he can do, he's not just riding a motorcycle, he's doing so many actions. It's not just one action. So all our actions, thoughts, and beliefs are interconnected. And unless and until we are channelizing those by the principles of the master, it's not going to work. Even if we buy a very good hot air balloon that we see, if you don't tune the heat of the balloon, that balloon is blow out. So that tuning is nothing but mastering our actions. And that mastering is only possible when we believe that our ideal who is experienced We need to implement the teachings and principles of that experience, concentric idea. When we channelize everything in life, get the results.
Exactly. It's a wonderful experience. Like you just reminded me of something that recently we for making videos, we bought an iPhone. So when I was checking the specification of that iPhone, I was astonished to see that the RAM, the random access memory of that iPhone, is only 4 GB.
Of course, iPhone
Yes,
is
but
very famous for low RAM, but
yes,
next year.
but for much cheaper phones have higher RAMs like 8 GB, 16 GB. But
Yes, I owned OnePlus 6 in 2017 with 6 GB RAM, and iPhone in 2022 has 4 GB RAM. Yeah.
yes, I had that old Samsung that had 8 GB RAM, but it's much slower. Now I kept thinking that what is the issue here? When I thought about that, when I saw the configuration of those high-end phones like iPhones, I saw that they are oriented in a very nice way.
Of
Like
course.
all of them are fulfilling each other. The processor, the RAM, nothing is being wasted. All the full potential of that device is being used in a perfectly fulfilling way. And this is only because everything is made keeping that phone in mind by one single company. And by being concentric on that one center, we have to know this thing, that center is always one. No matter
Beautiful.
how many spokes you have, no matter how many spike you have in that car, in that tire wheel, the center is always one. So and all those spike fulfill that one center. If we look into the solar system, it works the same way. There are innumerable asteroids, so many planets, but there is one sun. If we look into the galaxy, there is one center, that's Sagittarius A.
Yes.
Almost a cluster of energy. And nowadays we see people talking about to concentration, meditation, this and that. When we look into the word concentration, what do we find? We find con and center. Con means to connect, and center means a center. Unless we connect to the center of our life, nothing is going to happen fruitfully.
We have
wasting our energy.
The center of life, a concentric ideal. Unless and until we do that, we cannot. So we give a very brilliant example of the solar system. Sorry to interrupt, but I am very excited.
Yes, of course.
2 lines on that. In our previous live sessions, when we used to discuss, it's very frequent we use this example, the solar system, right? The best way to learn things in life or to get examples is to look at the universe and see how the universe functions. I would request all the viewers to go and check the playlist Chaos to Cosmos that we made that explains about the order of the universe is chaos, but we find cosmology, we find the center there. If we look at any heavenly bodies, asteroids, they're out of control. An asteroid has no center. They follow nothing in life. Let's say that. It doesn't mean that they had life. What I mean to say is they're not following a center. And that is responsible for wiping out the complete species of dinosaur.
Exactly.
That's how destructible things can become when you don't have a center. Jupiter is so big, it's gaseous. It has so much of gravity. Is it harming anything? No. It's saving us from the asteroid belt. So that's the power of center, the power of concentric ideal in life. And if we believe in that and take our actions as that ideal has mentioned and as it should be, we can utilize with the less RAM.
Yes, exactly. And here comes a question. Before that, I would like a funny thing. I have to say the funny thing. For a small computer, we need a RAM. But for this big computer, we also need a RAM. There was a funny joke like this.
Definitely.
Yes, and regarding this, that there's a question that comes up that okay, we need an ideal. Okay, we need certain people to follow in life. We need a motivational guide. But whom to choose? How would you know that what is right and wrong? What is my standpoint? What is my standard upon which we can describe the good and bad? And Master gives a wonderful definition to this. And not only master, this had been the principle of our culture. And that standpoint is existence. Existence, consciousness, and blissful becoming. In Sanskrit, it is said Satchit Ananda. It is the nature of every human being. We have three qualities. We have existence, we have consciousness or responsiveness so that we can respond to people, and we have blissful becoming in life. These three factors are essential. And anything that fulfills these three factors are termed as good. And anything that harms these three factors are termed as bad. And in this way, when we see that anything that fulfills these three qualities in human being, that is called dharma. Satchidananda is fulfilled by those kind of things, and that course of action is called dharmic activities. So dharmic activities are those activities which are beneficial to our existence. If it does not benefit our existence, no matter how glamorous it looks, it cannot be dharma. So all this faith and belief and many other nonsense things that happens all around the world, we have forgotten this basic thing, that we have to check whether it fulfills our existence or it degrades our existence. If it fulfills our existence, it is good, it is dharmic. If it degrades our existence, then it is bad. Now, who decides this? How did we come to know this? We came to know this, we got to know this because we got connected to an ideal. A person who realized this truth. That's why, coming back to the thing that Dada read out from Pursuit of Truth, he said, the degeneration of humanity began when the unseen God was made infinite. Ignoring the seers, the worship of their sayings began. When we started worshipping the sayings of the seers, but forgotten the seers. We have forgotten the sage, but we started worshipping what they said. We said that we want yoga, but we don't want a yogi. Anyone can learn yoga. It is not like that. Yoga is not an exercise of making muscles. Even for that, you need a proper trainer, or you can harm your muscles. So, yoga, the term yoga came from yuj, that means to connect. Yoga means union. We have to perform a certain kind of mental, psychophysical union with somebody who is a yogi, who is in union with the life as it is. And that person is an ideal. By the urge of necessity, by the urge of evolution himself, such a person arrives in this world, and we have to test this out. It is not only case of dharma. Just look, in the case of science, when the Newtonian mechanics was failing, scientists like Einstein came. When the old biology was failing, Watson and Crick kind of people came who discovered the DNA and reinvented the whole thing, whole biotechnology. Similarly, the same comes for life. When life yearns for truth. The collective consciousness of people give birth to such a personality. It is the same law of nature for every sphere of life. Yes, and exactly. That kind of person, that's why I think Lord Krishna said that Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharataha abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sriyamyaham. That every time that dharma degrades, out of necessity is the mother of invention. Through that necessity, certain kind of genetic development happens in the humanity, and that creates certain kind of people. And those people, such people comes time to time, and they are considered as the ideal of life. And centering upon those ideals, there can be many gurus, many teachers, but they all must fulfill that grand ideal. You can see Vishwamitra, you can see Vasishtha. There are so many great teachers. But all of them fulfill Lord Krishna. All of them fulfill Lord Ram. All of them fulfill Prophet Muhammad and Jesus. Why? Because they are the core. They are the generalized form of truth. And through those generalized form of truth, we are deriving certain specialities. Bharadwaj took certain sets of actions. Shandilya Muni took certain sort of actions. So all kind of guru we can have in life. Like I have a guru for physics, my studies. Dada has some guru for his work, user experience designer, but that does not deny the you need of an ideal in life. So ideal or the Sat Guru is a certain man in whom we learn the go of life, the go of life as it is. For little things like how to drive, how to edit videos, how to cook. For everything, we need someone. We need to see someone from whom we can learn. But for the life as it is, don't we need a certain man, a certain guy from whom we will see and learn, from whom we will travel to the unknown terrains of our mind, the deep facets of our psychology, why we are afraid, what is the cause of the fear, how to master it, how to master all those unknown faculties, how do we dream. We can see we can be very much imaginative in our dreams, but we cannot use that imagination in our creative writing. So how to use that faculty. We can see when we get more money, we become happy, but for a very small amount of time. Where does that happiness go? Why? And how to access that unknown, the infinite bliss that is within us. For that, we need someone who has visited that terrain, who is a good driver in that terrain. And we need such a guru, we need such an ideal in life who will teach us how to do that, not just grace us by something. It is not like he will do some magic and give me, say, okay, I am giving you this and you will be blissful. No, that is not a way, because he will not be always with me physically. That's why we need a teacher who will impart, who will transmit the same. So this is an extension of what Dada said. What do you agree on that? Of course,
Vic, I definitely agree. And I would also like to, mention that whatever the topic that we have today and whatever we just discussed are interconnected. It may sound like that, it's going away, but it's not actually. It's all about the action. And when we say action, we just don't want to say that, hey, this is what it said, just do that. Not that way. It should be exciting. It should be happily done rather than just following commands like a robot does. We have to find the happiness in doing that as well. That's where the important thing plays, that is called the belief. If you believe that I can do, I can do. I was watching Instagram and I don't remember the name of that person. It was very interesting. He is, of course, a motivational speaker. And after this discussion, we'll take up some questions that we have seen in the comments. So I'll just finish within 2 minutes. So that person says that he is mentioning about the youths having the problem in the fitness. So he said one day that you go to the gym, you do workout, you come back to the mirror, you see nothing. You go again the next day, you come back to the home and you see the mirror, you will see again nothing. It's a very normal thing that we won't see nothing, but why is it important to say that? So when we say that we are initiating a fitness protocol, okay, we cannot find the results in one day. Then many people will say, then okay, I'm not enjoying the process. I don't see result, but I'm not seeing result after 10 days also, or some many days also. That's where the problem arises. We will have to trust the journey. We will have to have faith in the journey, and we'll have to see whatever the learnings that we are getting in from that journey. So that way, when we believe what our ideal is saying, and we do those actions repeatedly, we have to find the happiness in that. And how can that be found? We'll have to believe that, yes, it is going in the correct way. We'll have to focus on the minute learnings as well. If I say about video editing, if I just go ahead and buy a MacBook Pro and I install the costly Adobe softwares there, and I just start editing the video and I say, okay, I did learn from a tutorial and now I have exported a very high quality video, I'm not enjoying the video. That's not all. We will have to see the minor actions that we took while editing the video, adding the transitions, thinking about the creativity. How can we make the video better? The journey is also very important. If we don't trust the process, if we do not trust the journey, we will not find the result. And we have to stop thinking about the result. That's what Lord Shri Krishna had said. We have to do the action. We need to trust the process. And we need to stop thinking about what will the result be, because it is a natural process. It will happen. If you focus on the
Exactly.
journey, if you focus on what has been said by the ideal, we not only get that thing done, but we learn so many more things. And that's how the journey becomes beautiful. So that's all I wanted to say. Now, shall we quickly take a question which is very
Yes, yes.
interesting, that's been asked by
Yes.
Devesda. Okay. So, Jai Guru Dada, it's thank you for the comment. You have asked that how is it that the seers got ignored despite their compelling influence? So this question arose by Devesda has asked that at the time that we were discussing about the seers. Okay, so I will quickly take 2 minutes about what my view is. Then Souvik, I will hand it over to you if that's fine with you. Okay.
Of course. Yes, Dada.
Okay.
Of course.
So how is it that the seers got ignored despite their compelling influence? So here's a very critical thing that has happened. When we say from the pursuit of truth, I'll also talk a bit in Hindi because बहुत ज़्यादा English हो जा रहा है and थोड़ा make it friendly also. So सत्तांशरण में कहा जाता है that degeneration of humanity began at the very moment when the unseen God was made infinite. भारत की अवनति तब से हो गई. So what does that mean? The seers got ignored despite their compelling influence. So is it their compelling influence that was focused, or is it, am I getting something after believing, that was focused? So that is the critical, dangerous thing that we have. When we follow an ideal or when we trust something very much, in our subconscious head, we always have, that thing to get result. What am I getting out of it? Kya fayda hoga? Whenever we talk something, even if I say that, hey, I booked a flight ticket, मैं एक flight का ticket book किया हूँ, मेरे को discount नहीं मिला. समझ से क्या फायदा हुआ application install करने का? क्या फायदा हुआ discount coupon apply करने का? ये जो फायदा वाला चीज है ना, बड़ा dangerous हो जाता है. Okay. जब हम हर चीज में ये फायदा खोजने लगते हैं, तब ना तो हम जर्नी पे फोकस कर पाते हैं, ना तो हम लर्निंग पे फोकस कर पाते हैं. हम बस फोकस करते हैं हमें फायदा क्या हो रहा है. डेफिनेटली लाइफ में फायदा देखना चाहिए. कॉम्पिटिटिव माइंडसेट है हमारा, कॉम्पिटिटिव टाइमलाइन है, द वर्ल्ड इज फास्ट. फायदा देखना पड़ेगा. जब हम मेट्रो लेंगे कि ऑटो लेंगे, तब देखना होगा कौन सा फायदा हो रहा है ऑफिस जल्दी पहुंचने के लिए. लेकिन अगर हमें गुरु को मान के चल रहे हैं, तब हमें फायदा नहीं देखना चाहिए कि हमें कुछ रिजल्ट मिल रहा है कि नहीं. तब रिजल्ट हमें मिलेगा अगर हम एक्शंस इंप्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं लाइफ में. So even if they have the compelling influence, we never focused on that. All we focused is what are we getting when we are focusing on something. I believe that, but I didn't get that in the result. That's very dangerous. That's not
Exactly.
how things go. And that's what I have experienced also. If we talk about any good student or successful people that they have got, they didn't read or they didn't focus. Let's talk about Steve Jobs. क्या फायदा हुआ स्टीव जॉब्स को? He always walked around with that simple black t-shirt and blue jeans. He never saw that I am earning so much from Apple, मुझे ये फायदा होना चाहिए. He always believed in the process. He always empathized the users. He thought about the users. He never thought कि मेरे को इतना फायदा क्या होगा. Yes, he thought. That's why he started a company. But that was not his only thing. So the compelling influence is what we should focus on rather than getting the end result always. So I would like Souvik to add up something and then we can discuss it together.
Yes, it was a very important point. Like before going into the doctor, test him out that whether he is a good doctor or not. But when you are into the process, when the operation has started, you cannot say that, doctor, what are you doing using that? Use that. No, you have to trust the doctor there. This is the essence of belief. You can test him out before that, whatever you want. But once he gives a process, once he initiates a process, you have to be religious. Religious means dedicated in that path. Like gear, that means to reconnect. You have to be connected to him. Now again, coming back to this question, how is it that the seers got ignored despite their compelling influence? For that, we first have to also think about that, how these seers came to be. What was their influence in the society in the first place? Their influence and why the influence was necessary. Actually, we are always having a fight inside. And that is the fight between our being and the complexes. We have certain things called complexes. I know Debesda knows it perfectly well, but still we are playing the part, and that we have certain kind of complexes. And the core outer layer of that complex, we can say, is selfish expectations, that Dada said.
Yes.
That selfish shartho prottasha in Bengali. So those selfish expectations create certain kind of hurdles. We do expect certain things, and we are always measuring these things in the path. That's our nature. That's our primal nature in the Homo sapiens. So when we are using that kind of process of thinking, then expectation comes and things destroy, as Dada said. But when these complexes take over the essence of our being, takes over our intelligence, things get disturbed a lot. Then we don't, suppose a seer or a master tells me to do certain things, but that needs a lot of effort, that needs a lot of self-adjustment, and I'm not ready to do that. And then I start compromising. Now these kind of compromises piles up, and they create a cumulative effect, and that cumulative effect degenerates the society to a certain extent, that they destroy many things. And when, let's say, seers got ignored, the very reason that seers got ignored is that we started giving more importance to their sayings. And remember, sayings can be modified. Sayings can be distorted. Like there was once a saying that Lord Jesus said, resist no evil. That got distorted like that, resist no evil. Ab evil ko resist mat karo. But that is not what Jesus said. Jesus said, resist, no evil. That means if you resist, there is no evil. That means he's asking us to resist the evil. He's asking us to resist so that no evil can come in our way. Now, in this process, how did we know? How are you so sure that he said he used that comma? We are so sure because we see Jesus's life. When we see Jesus's life as it is, we can see he directly went to the temples, and he said, "What is this? You have turned the temples into a business forum," and he destroyed all the marketplaces. He said that no marketing will happen in this place, and for those kind of things, he got crucified as well. And he was such a resisting man. He's not a mere lamb. He was the shepherd, not the lamb. He carried the lamb, showed the path to the lambs. So he resisted the evil. But when we distorted that saying according to our own selfish expectations, according to the influence of our own complexes, that got distorted. And from that moment, we started giving importance more to their sayings, because those sayings were conducive to our complexes. And using these kind of things, we have started. Now, what is the way out? Now, again, seers will come. Seers came, and we are again distorting things. We can see this in Thakur's mission as well, our master's mission as well. Certain things are getting distorted. Now, what to do? From there comes the second paragraph of that line, that thing that Dada spoke from the Pursuit of Truth. He said, I am continuing that. He said, "Oh mankind, if you desire to invoke your good, forget sectarian conflict." Then he said, "Be regardful to all past prophets, and be attached to your living master or God, and take only those who love him as their own, because all the past prophets are consummated in the divine man of the present." The key word here is get attached. If we are attached to the ideal as if he is my beloved, then the fun starts to begin. If we are attached to him, attachment is such a beautiful thing, we can ignore all the hardships in the path. A mother, a mother before her marriage, all the works seem like a hurdle, like, oh, I have to do so many things. It's like a pressure. But when her child comes, he had to maintain that child. What happens is, he does that without any without any feeling of as a problem. He takes that painstakingly. No pain, like the child disturbs its mother at the middle of the night, but the mother accepts that. Said, okay, it is my child. I love him, so I will accept that kind of hurdle. In this way, when we get attached to the beloved, when we get attached to the ideal, what happens is those kind of problems, those selfish expectations that come in our path, they get distorted. They get destroyed very easily. And that Dada was speaking, that we need a joyous journey towards action. That joyous journey comes automatically because we are doing it for the beloved. Now here comes an important key thing. To be good, we need to follow the seers or ideal. Okay, I got it. To follow the ideal, there is a problem. Selfish expectations come and we can distort their saying in an instant. Now, how to stop that? To stop that, we need attachment to the ideal. How to get attached to the ideal? We have to accept him as our own. And to accept him as our own, to love him, we have to follow certain things. Like a mother washes the diapers of her baby. The mother feeds her baby. Mother does certain kind of acts daily so that that baby is alive. And to keep the baby alive, this process creates a notion of attachment with the mother and the child. So we also have to start certain physical and psychic processes daily. They are called rituals in our culture, so that we can create that kind of attachment. And knowing those processes, knowing those psychophysical exercises is called initiation. So we have to get initiated in a process produced by the ideal. This initiation thing was said by Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus called it baptism. When this was given by Lord Sri Krishna, he called it Diksha. And this is same for every ideal. Like you can see, what is the importance of marriage then? We could just live together anytime. No, the ritual of marriage is important because it creates a certain impact in our brain. And that impact helps us to create that attachment, to sustain that attachment, to disregard all kind of negative influences of our selfish expectations. And so if we are connected to any seer we want through the present ideal, the present prophet, you can say. Why prophet? Prophet is not some boobies. Prophet means not a magician. Prophet means one who professed the law of providence, who saw the law and said it. Like at this moment, I know E equals mc square from Einstein. I know F equals ma from Newton. But Newton did not know E equals mc square. But that does not make me more genius than Newton, because he saw the law. I saw apple falling many times, but ignored. But Newton did not ignore. So in this case, Newton is a seer. Many people know light is traveling, but nobody gave mind to that. Einstein gave the mind, and Einstein got it. So Einstein is the seer. So we need no matter how much intelligence or technical we are, tech savvy we are, we need that ideal. If we are somehow getting far from the ideal of the present age, then we can distort any religion, any seer, any science.
Yes,
we can create atom bombs out of atomic energy. Yes.
Very nicely explained, Souvik. So we now understand, and I hope Deveshda, obviously Deveshda knows very well. Even though he asked, he is very aware about the answers, and so are you, Souvik. That's why you have said it so nicely. I'm very happy to see what you just mentioned. So we have very less time left, and I would also like to quickly pick up one comment by Sri Chandan Banda. Jai Guru Dada, you are asking that during the physical lifespan of the master, the people around him got influenced by seeing him, feeling his presence and love. How will we get the inspiration, influence to have belief or act? What would you like to add, Souvik, in that? If you can give acceleration.
I would like you to say something, because I
want you to accelerate in this and see where you take it, and then quickly use that.
Okay, sure. Yes, okay. So I said during the physical lifespan of master, people got influenced by him. Okay, and but for that, I would like to ask him the same question, that during the physical lifespan of Lord Jesus, people got him, but people crucified him.
Yes.
But Jesus got famous. Jesus got famous after 300 years of his crucifixion. How is it possible? How was it possible? It was
Yes.
possible, I think, through the apostles, through the devotees or the disciples. When we say disciple,
Yeah.
actually there is a key word, that is discipline. Disciple means those who are disciplined in the path of the master, those who are the light carriers of those master, in whom we can see the reflection of the master. Not, he is not a separate master, we can see the reflection of the master. Just like we are using this Facebook as a broadcasting media, Facebook means nothing to the viewers at this moment. We are speaking, but Facebook is the carrier, isn't it? Like people are watching this live through YouTube, Facebook, or whatever. So this broadcasting media is the carrier. So there have to be certain carriers who can carry out the message of master in action and in speech.
Exactly.
Just a little thing to add, that
Yeah.
I have not met Einstein, I have not met Isaac Newton,
Yeah.
but I know the theory developed by them. I can use F equals mc and mc squared. How come I know that? Einstein did not come into my dream and spoke that, but some teachers did. The teachers who practiced the discipline of the Einstein, who practiced the discipline of Newton, he preached that, he taught me. Similarly, the apostles or the light carriers of the master, they have to be the perfect receptacles of that same. Then the master is immortal in that sense. I would like Dada to add certain things on this.
Yes, thank you, Souvik. Very wellly accelerated. The second part, as you mentioned, where and how will we get that influence to have belief or to act? When we see about the past prophets, when we see, let's say, for example, if we talk about Lord Shri Krishna, okay, the level of intellect that he had and how he used that in the youth and in the whole of Mahabharata. We have not seen Lord Shri Krishna. We have his literature. As Devasda is mentioning, his literature carries him alive. So when we read those repeatedly, and when we try to visualize, when we do the action of visualizing that, and when we do the action of thinking how to implement those intellect and how to implement those principles for the better need, for the good to good, for God, that's how we feel him more alive. We feel lively. We definitely feel that he is with us. His literature is with us. What he has given is all for humanity, for the mankind. That's why once somebody asked Shashi Thakur, I think Souvik, you can explain that more better in a more small story. Okay, when he said that his income is people and expenditure is love. That's what he said. My income is people and my expenditure is love. So the amount of love he had for the people, and that when we read in his literature, and when we try to implement those small principles combined together, this becomes a great lesson of life. And that when we implement that, then we not only get the result, we also enjoy the journey. So that's how we need to keep his literature, we need to read the literature, and we need to implement those in our lives. And definitely we will never feel his absence, because his presence means his literature and what he has said for the mankind to implement. Souvik, you're on mute. I think.
Yes, am I audible now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, very much so. But I would very humbly want to add to this said by respected Devasda, that he said, where was that comment? Yes, his literature carries him. Exactly, his literature carries him live. But again, his literature can be degraded, like can be 1,000 years ago after that. But if we can add this one thing, his literature and true devotees carrying him live.
Yes.
I think that is a good, because a practitioner is needed. I am an example, because I read his literature a little bit here and there. But when I get to know a true sense of what devotees are, what is it? I've seen many disciples of Thakur, but when I got to see the real people, the real deal, who are the real practitioners of the same, then I read the same literature again and got to know the real meaning of that. Like, oh, yes, he meant this. Then I have read, like Thakur said about nishtha. Nishtha means nishsheshe lege thaka. I have read this 1,000 times before, but it never got to mean that eknishtha or unicentric, what unicentric means in essence. Then I saw a person, I saw some, after that I saw many people who are really unicentric. Then I saw, okay, this is devotion then. So literature is the thing. Literature is the thing. Literature is the Veda, I would say. But we'll also need Upanishads. Upanishads are the explainers of those Vedas, or they are also called Vedanta or end of Veda. Because Upanishad also means sitting near. We have to sit near certain people who are the practitioners of the Veda. They are not perfect like master, but they are so passive and so concentric to the ideal that we can see the receptacle. I can quote an example from history. Like everyone, I would urge you to see a movie called Paul, the Apostle of Christ. It's a great movie. In that movie, we are seeing that a person called Luke, he never saw Jesus, but he saw Paul, and he came to Paul when Paul was inside jail, and Saint Paul, he came and said that, oh, Saint Paul, I see you are the man, you are this, you are that. And Paul scolded him hard. Paul said, are you trying to make a God out of me? No, God is Jesus Christ. And then Luke said, that I understand. But when I saw you speaking of Christ, I saw the spark of Christ in you. I saw the spark of Christ in you, and that made me love Christ. The scriptures, the Old Testaments were already available at that time, but we could not understand it. We could not interpret them properly. And as it is a good saying that misinterpretation brings misfortune. So through those misinterpretation, anything can happen. We just like we did, resist no evil. We did that. And there are many people with selfish expectation, they can degrade it in no time. So when we have certain eknisht devotees, disciples, they can also carry the literature in their back and carry on that thing. And I did not think I had to show this, but I still, with the permission of Dada, would like to show a good saying of Thakur from Message Volume 1. May I?
Yes, please go ahead. And let's conclude after that.
Yes. It's a very small time we have. I can understand that. Give me 1 second. Yes, got it. Yes, I hope it's visible.
Yes, it's loading, coming up.
This is exact answer to the question. Master says, when the enlightened 1,000 souls, dazzled by the beloved after his demise, when the bereavement, the expiry, in an exalted exuberance of love with glorified praise, bedewed with tears, affections, and enchanting tremor, revives him in thousands of embodiment, move on to fulfill him and him only, really there resurrection occurs. So this is the proper definition of resurrections. It is not a magical thing. When those people are concentric to the ideal, the literature finds a proper meaning. Like E equals MC square is there, but we get to understand E equals MC square when we see the experiments. The experiments are done by the experienced people, and they are the disciples, devotees in whom Thakur or Master is alive. This is what I got to know from my experience as well.
That is very correct, I think. Exactly. That's where we understand, if we try to join the dots, whatever comments we had today, whatever we tried to discuss, it circles around that you need to believe in your ideal. Okay. And for that, whatever things are needed, that is, of course, we discussed some part, but are definitely, a topic of discussion for other, in next session or some other topics of discussions. But then you need to definitely believe, and it's not like belief version action doesn't mean, hey, I believe, and one is saying, hey, I do actions. It's not a conflict. It means
exactly.
You need to believe in your ideal, you need to believe in the principles, trust the process, trust the journey, and do the action in the correct way. In the result, you experience that. That's all I would like to add. I hope the session was good and people enjoyed the discussion, and please Souvik add something and then we can conclude.
Of course, there is nothing to add. I enjoyed this session personally very much, and it's my privilege to be in the same screen with Dada and it's my privilege to be here. I am very much inspired by him, and we are working in this Master Within together. So, regardless of the results, I would like to ask and request everyone to take part in these sessions and share this to as many people as possible. Ask us anything you want, anything through personal message or whatever you want, whatever way. We are always available in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and everywhere. So you can ask us anything, and to the extent we know, we'll try our best to answer, because we believe that Master has answered to everything. He said, I have answered to your quest. So with that, I would like to conclude this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you very soon, probably the next Sunday. Till then, stay tuned. Believe in your master, believe in yourself, believe in the actions, and let us awaken the mastery within together. Jai.